Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon to the presentation on the benefits of beginning at a community college in the United States. My name is Matt Barrett. I'm with Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, Florida, in the southeastern United States. And this afternoon, the translator will be Dawn Kang. All right. So, full screen. All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with the U.S. higher education system, here is a pyramid that I like to show students who are thinking about studying in the United States. So typically, students, when they graduate from high school, they have two options when going to higher education in the United States. The first option is to go directly to an undergraduate institution, four-year college or university, or they can go for the first 2 years to a community college and study and complete most of their general education courses and a few of their major courses before transferring for their last 2 years at a university.
그래서 고등학교를 졸업한 학생들이 선택할 수 있는 게 두 가지가 있는데, 첫 번째는 4년제 대학교를 바로 입학을 하는 방법이 있고요. 그리고 두 번째는 커뮤니티 컬리지에서 1, 2학년을 한 다음에 3, 4학년으로 4년제 학교를 편입을 하는 방법이 있습니다.
There we go. Okay. So basically, an associate degree is the first 2 years of your undergraduate education at a U.S. community college. If it's an associate degree at a semester school, it's 60 credit hours. If it's at a college on the quarter system, it's 90 credit hours. General education provides students with fundamental skills in math, English, arts, humanities, physical, biological, and social sciences. Completed general education program is required for a baccalaureate degree in the United States, whether you go to a four-year institution directly after high school or you come to a community college first. And electives are taken as part of the associate degree, are usually introductory level or prerequisite courses preparing students for their last 2 years at the four-year institution to which they will transfer.
네, 그래서 학생들이 일반적으로 커뮤니티까지 2년 동안 60학점과 60학점을 듣게 되고요. 이제 쿼터 시스템인 학교에서는 90학점을 듣게 되고요. 그리고 제너럴 에듀케이션, 교양 과목 같은 경우에는 수학, 영어, 아트, 휴머니티, 피지컬, 바이올로지컬 이와 같은 과목을 듣게 되고요. 그 제너럴 에듀케이션은 4년제를 편입하기 위해서는 필수적으로 들어야 되는 과목입니다. 그리고 그 나머지는 선택 과목을 듣게 됩니다.
All right. So to give you guys an example, a lot of times parents, and because they don't want their son or daughter to take the same course twice. I have an example here of a business administration student from a school like Hillsborough Community College in Florida versus going directly to the University of Florida. In the state of Florida, we have what is known as the Common Course Numbering System. So if a student were to take a course like Introduction to Financial Accounting 2021, that would be the same as Introduction to Financial Accounting AGC 2021 in semester 3. Going back to the other list, so like Principles of Microeconomics. Students would also take that at Hillsborough Community College, right there, as part of their associate in arts degree in their first 2 years. So basically, students would be taking their 36 mandatory hours of general education, and then they would also take 24 credit hours, or roughly about 8 courses that are recommended in their field of study so basically students can take these at Hillsborough Community College or community college similar to ACC versus going directly to university, and I'll get into the benefits in a few moments.
네, 지금 플로리다 학교의 장점은 커뮤니티 컬리지를 가든지 간에 유니버시티 오브 플로리다를 가던 지금 코스 이름이 동일하게 되어 있습니다. 그래서 이제 수업이 100% 다 인정이 되는 거고, 이제 지금 매튜 씨께서 얘기했듯이 Introduction to Financial Accounting이 똑같이 U of Florida에도 똑같이 있기 때문에 동일한 수업이 되는 거고요. 그리고 이제 학생이 또한 2년 동안 들어야 되는 수업은 General Education 36학점을 듣고 Recommended Course 24학점을 듣는데 24학점은 여기 밑에 있는 전공 관련 수업이 되겠습니다.
So another popular major is engineering for international students. So you can see here, in addition to the 36 general education requirements that students have to take, the recommended courses that we offer at HCC that we recommend students take, like calculus, differential equations, general physics, general chemistry, biologies, and you can see here that those courses are the same ones that are recommended at the University of South Florida, where a large majority of our students transfer after graduating with us. You can see here that the recommended courses we also offer. So in their first 2 years, they are not taking courses that will not transfer. In Florida, we have the common course numbering system. I know I already said that once, but I need to emphasize that. So your student will not take these courses twice. They will take these courses with us and they will transfer for their 3rd and 4th year.
So, 그래서 전에 말씀드린 거와 동일하게 그 똑같은 코스 넘버랑 코스 타이틀을 갖고 있기 때문에 역시나 공대를 선택한다고 할지라도 이제 USF라는 4년제 100위권 안에 드는 대학교에서 수업을 듣는다고 할지라도 동일한 수업이 되기 때문에 학생들이 이제 100% 모든 수업들이 다 인정이 되게 돼 있습니다.
Okay. And another important aspect of community college are articulation agreements. Because most students are not coming to community college just to finish a community college. Most of the time the goal is a 4-year bachelor's degree. So articulation agreements are very important that community colleges have with colleges and universities so that students can be automatically admitted upon graduation from their prospective community college. I need to make this known, these are not real community colleges here. These are made up. These are real universities, and the GPAs and the programs are also made up. However, this would give you an idea that if a student wanted to go, for instance, let's say to Florida State University, and they started out at Florida Community College, in order to be admitted, let's say they were an education major, they would need at least a 3.5 GPA to be automatically admitted to Florida State for their 3rd year, for their junior year, after completing their first 2 years at Hillsborough, or at Florida Community College, excuse me. Same thing for a school like the University of Illinois. And again, these are examples, these are not real. If a student went to Chicago Community College, they would need to make a 3.6 GPA to be automatically admitted to the University of Illinois.
지금 일반적으로 이제 편입을 하게 되면은 어느 정도의 GPA가 필요한지 이제 말씀을 드린 거고, 지금 여기 있는 내용들은 이제 실제 계약이 아니라 그냥 예를 들어 드는 거기 때문에 이거를 이제 실제 보장되는 점수라고 하시면 안 되고요. 예를 들어서 플로리다 스테이트 유니버시티로 가려고 하면은 플로리다 안에 있는 커뮤니티 컬리지에서 3.5 정도 이상을 맞아야 되는 거고, 유니버시티 오브 일리노이 같은 경우에는 시카고 내에서 3.6 이상을 맞아야지 편입이 가능합니다.
Sweet. All right. So that was a little introduction onto community colleges. And here's a little bit about Hillsborough Community College in particular. I'm using HCC today as the example community college for this presentation.
오늘 이제 많은 학교들 중에서 한 가지 예를 들어서 힐스보로 커뮤니티 컬리지에 대해서 소개해드리겠습니다.
So what do community colleges offer specifically, academic programs? At HCC we offer 2 types of associate degrees, an associate in arts, which is our university transfer program, and an associate in science as well. We have over 160 concentrations at Hillsborough Community College. However, we have 1 associate in art degree with 18 tracks or pre-majors. They range from architecture, business administration, dramatic arts, computer science, graphic design, hospitality administration management, mass communication. You can see the list there. After earning your associate in arts degree from HCC, in the state of Florida, because of our common course numbering system, students are able to transfer to one of our 11 public institutions within the state of Florida, private universities and colleges as well, or to other 4-year colleges and universities around the United States.
네, 지금 힐스보로 커뮤니티 컬리지에서는 크게 2가지 진학 수학을 주는데요. 그러니까 Associate in Arts degree 하고 Associate in Science degree를 주는 거예요. 그래서 트랜스퍼 하려고 하게 되면은 이제 주로 많이 학생들이 선택을 하는 게 Associate in Arts degree고요. 그래서 2년을 마치고 난 다음에 플로리다주 안에 있는 11개 주립대학교로 편입할 수도 있고, 그 경우에는 100% 수업이 다 인정되고요. 그렇지 않고 미국 안에 있는 다른 주에 있는 4년제 대학교로도 편입할 수 있습니다. 그리고 보통 학생들이 많이 선택하는 전공들이 지금 아래와 같습니다.
Alright, and so here are some of the benefits of community college in specific. First and foremost, lower tuition. It's almost always the case. I don't know a case where it is not. Smaller class sizes. At HCC, we cap our classes at 35 students. Our Honors Institute caps their classes at 17. Large public research institutions, students may be in their first 2 years taking classes with 75, 100, 200 students. So community college is a great way for your student not to get lost amongst that many students. Student-focused curriculum. Your professors are in class. You are taught by your professors. Every class, you're not taught by a grad assistant or a teaching assistant. Intimate student support. At HCC, we have a Center for International Education. We have 8 dedicated professionals that take care of everything in-house, all the way from your application to graduation and transfer, advising, counseling, recruitment. Everything is done in-house at HCC. A unique aspect of HCC is we have on-campus housing. However, other community colleges that don't have on-campus housing sometimes will have homestays with parents and families. More flexible English proficiency requirements than universities is almost always the case. And then optional practical training, which I failed to mention at the beginning of the presentation. However, after every degree that you earn in the United States, students are able to work for 1 calendar year upon receiving that degree. So students that go directly to a 4-year institution only have 1 opportunity to work optional practical training upon graduating. But if you go to community college, students can work for 1 year after they get their associate degree, and then also after they get their bachelor's degree as well.
지금 힐스보로 커뮤니티 칼리지를 가게 됐을 때 장점들을 말씀드리면은, 첫째는 학비가 저렴하다는 거고요. 두 번째는 수업하는 강의당 학생 수가 적다는 겁니다. 일반 수업 같은 경우에는 한 반에 38명 정도 되고요. 그리고 어너스 인스튜트라고 해서 나중에 설명드릴 건데, 좀 특수한 편입 학생들을 위한 반이 따로 있는데, 그 반은 17명 정도가 한 반에 들어가고요. 그리고 이제 다른 4년제 대학교들은 100명이 넘는 강의도 있지만, 여기는 수업 규모가 작기 때문에 학생들이 좀 더 케어를 많이 받을 수 있고요. 그리고 이제 유학생들을 위한 센터가 따로 있어서 이제 원서 지원하는 것부터 하우징까지 다 모든 걸 관리해 줄 수 있고, 지금 이 학교에는 이제 기숙사가 따로 있어서 다른 커뮤니티 칼리지는 기숙사가 없는 것들이 많은데, 여기는 좋은 기숙사를 가지고 있어서 장점이 될 것 같고요. 그리고 학교에 입학을 위해서는 영어 능력이 이제 스탠다드 영어 시험이 필요한데, 그것도 다른 4년제 대학교보다는 조금 더 유동성이 있기 때문에 입학이 조금 더 용이하고요. 그리고 어소시에이트 디그리를 땄을 때 합법적으로 1년간 일을 할 수 있는 자격이 주어지고, 그리고 4년제 졸업했을 때도 또 1년간 합법적으로 일할 수 있는 자격이 주어지기 때문에, 어소시에이트 디그리는 2학년 마친 다음에 1년을 일할 수 있는 자격이 주어지기 때문에 그게 또한 장점이 될 것 같습니다.
And here's an example as far as tuition goes and living expenses. This is just south of $20,000 is what we estimate that a student will spend to come to Hillsborough Community College to study for 1 year. This is tuition and living expenses versus a public university and a private university. For these examples, we used public university, the University of South Florida, which is in Tampa, and private university is the University of Tampa, which is also in Tampa, to give you a pretty good comparison on how much you can save by going to community college for your first 2 years.
1년간 지금 총 비용을 비교해 드린 건데요. 힐스보로 커뮤니티 칼리지는 1년에 2만 불이 조금 안 되는 비용이 들고, 지금 퍼블릭 유니버시티는 지금 템파 안에 있는 유니버시티 오브 사우스 플로리다를 예를 들었고요. 32,000불 조금 넘게 들고, 프라이빗 유니버시티는 템파 안에 있는 유니버시티 오브 템파를 예를 들었는데 37,000불이 조금 넘는 금액이 들어서 학비 절감하는 측면이 좋다고 볼 수 있습니다.
Alright, and to expand on this, you can see here that if you were to go to Hillsborough Community College, Let's say that your son or daughter did not want to complete their education in Florida. They wanted to go, to a state like Washington or to California. Well, you can see here that Hillsborough Community College is still going to be less than $20,000 for their first 2 years, or for their first year and or their second year. Whereas if they go directly to the University of South Florida, they'll pay about $32,000. If they go to the University of Florida, they'll pay about $42,000. The University of Washington, about $46,000 a year. And the University of California, Berkeley, students will pay about $54,000 a year.
네, 지금 보신 대로 이제 학교들 연간 비용을 보면은 힐스보로우는 2만 불이 조금 안 되고 UC 같은 경우에는 5만 불이 넘어가고 이렇게 보시는 대로 비용이 나오게 돼서 HCC가 얼마나 저렴한지 보실 수 있습니다. 네, 하우싱 포함해서.
Alright, and here is an example of what a community college classroom will look like. It will look like similar to a class like this that you're sitting in right now, with a few less chairs, versus what your elementary biology class, minus the lab, or your English 101 class may look like if you go to a large public university.
그래서 일반적으로 규모가 큰 대학교를 가게 되면은 이제 수업이 이 정도의 분위기고 커뮤니티 컬리지는 소규모의 수업이 진행이 됩니다.
Right. As far as support staff goes, and I'm using HCC as the example here today, we have 8 professionals here. Like I said a few minutes ago, all the way from admission to graduation and transfer, we take care of everything in-house. And at some community colleges, you can find that, as well as what you'll get at a university. Advising, F1 immigration advising, academic planning and advising. At HCC, in your first semester, we require that all students take a 1-hour credit course in which they create their 2-year academic plan, because our goal is not to have students for 3-4 years. Our goal is to have students for 4 semesters, complete their education, transfer, and become successful. In addition to that, we provide university transfer assistance, student life, and social activities. And uniquely enough, our students can actually study abroad as well. Even though you're already studying abroad in the United States, we have summer programs to Belize, to Denmark, to London, where students can participate as well.
지금 유학생 센터에서 도와줄 수 있는 부분들이 이제 입학 허가 도와주는 거고, F1 비자 받는데 조언해 줄 수 있고, 그리고 2년 동안 어떤 식으로 준비해서 편입할 수 있을지에 대한 아카데믹 플래닝도 도와드리고요. 그리고 또 편입하기 위해서 이제 원서 작성할 때도 도움이 필요한데 그 부분도 도와드리고, 그리고 이제 나중에 다른 나라에서 혹시나 이제 스터디 어브로드를 하기를 원하는 학생들에게 도움을 줄 수 있습니다.
Alright, one of the somewhat unique aspects of Hillsborough Community College is that we have housing as well. This is Hawks Landing student apartments. If you look in the booklet that you handed, you can see a few of these pictures. This is extremely unique about Hillsborough Community College. Every student gets their own bedroom and their own bathroom. I'll say that again in case you missed it. Every student at Hillsborough Community College that lives at Hawks Landing gets their own bedroom and their own bathroom. This is typically what a bedroom looks like. It's a full-size bed, you've got a desk, a dresser, your own bathroom, and then you share a living space if you live in a 2- or 4-bedroom apartment. However, students also have the option to live on their own in a 1-bedroom apartment as well. There's a resort-style pool, there's a gym, there's a computer lab, and there's full-time staff and security on campus at all times. We have at least 2 security guards and 24-hour video surveillance at all times.
지금 보시는 것은 학교의 기숙사고요. 그리고 이제 지금 모든 학생들이 개인 방을 쓰고 개인 화장실을 쓸 수 있습니다. 그리고 선택하는 거에 따라서 혼자 이제 아파트에 살 수도 있고요. 4명이서 같이 거실과 부엌을 공유할 수도 있습니다. 그리고 수영장 있고 시큐리티 이제 보안관이 이제 시큐리티를 관리를 하고요. 그리고 24시간 CCTV를 통해서 이제 안전을 항상 모니터하고 있습니다.
Alright. In addition, another unique aspect about Hillsborough Community College is that we have a nationally recognized honors institute, which includes smaller class sizes. And in smaller class sizes, you have more opportunities for experiential learning, feedback between professors, students, group projects. Each HCC student must be engaged in a certain amount of leadership opportunities. which include in the community and on campus. HCC, as a perk, students get their own study lounges as well, that they can hang out and converse with other students, study with other students between classes. And then in addition to the transfer and scholarship assistance that we provide, our F1 Honors Institute students also get additional transfer and scholarship assistance as well via the Honors Institute.
지금 학교가 갖고 있는 한 가지 장점 중에 하나는 학교 내에 Honors Institute이라는 부속 기관이 있는 것입니다. 여기는 쉽게 설명하면은 편입을 위한 집중 관리 프로그램이라고 볼 수 있고요. 수업 규모가 좀 더 작게 되고, 그리고 이제 교수님과 학생들과의 이제 유기적인 수업을 하게 되고, 그리고 또한 편입을 위해서 리더십이 필요한데 리더십 같은 거를 많이 활동을 할 수 있게 기회를 제공을 해주고요. 학생들이 공부할 수 있는 공부 공간이 따로 주어지게 되고, 그리고 또한 장학금도 이제 주어지게 됩니다.
And here's a list. It's not completely clear. If you squint, you can see it. This is a list of schools that our students have been accepted to over the all over the United States. Specifically in the last year, we have F1 students that have been accepted to the UC schools in California, Cal State schools, SUNY schools, Boise State, UT, San Antonio, University of Kentucky, Duquesne, University of Wisconsin, Lycoming College. Our students go all over, and this is all in the last year. This is a list of schools over the last 5 or 7 years where our students have transferred all over the country. And the ones in bold, if you can tell, you know, like the Columbias, the Cornells, the Emorys, those are top 100 ranked colleges and universities to which our students have transferred.
지금 보시는 리스트가 학생들이 어디를 편입했는지에 대한 리스트고요. 보시면은 뭐 코넬, 콜롬비아, 에머리, 여기 유펜도 있고, 그리고 이제 작년에 편입했던 학생들 같은 경우에는 UC로도 편입했고 뉴욕 주립대나 이런 학교들로 편입을 했습니다.
In addition to helping our students out when they're there, we also help with graduation transfer. This past January, a few weeks ago, we actually held our first annual 2+2 fair, in which all these 10 schools down here, San Jose State from California, Northeastern Illinois from Chicago, Oswego and Plattsburgh from New York, Lycoming from Pennsylvania, and then the University of Tampa, Central Florida, the University of South Florida, Stetson University, and St. Leo. Those 5 are from the state of Florida. So we had 5 from the state of Florida, 5 from outside the state of Florida. These counselors came to try to persuade our students upon graduation to transfer to those schools. Additionally, several of these schools offered $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 to persuade our students to transfer there upon graduation. So our students are actually pretty well sought out.
학교에서 지금 주기적으로 편입 박람회를 열어서 다음과 같은 학교들이 이제 학교를 방문해서 힐스보로 학생들을 이제 리크루팅해서 자기네 학교를 편입하라고 얘기하고, 또 성적이 좋은 학생들은 장학금까지도 받을 수 있도록 학교에서 오프를 한다고 합니다.
And here's some pictures from the fair. Several representatives from each school talking to our students, asking about specific scholarships, specific programs, etc. And this is a great way. Students have questions for us all the time, but it's best to bring the advisors to answer any specific questions because they're going to have the first-hand knowledge that perhaps we may not know about their institution.
네, 박람회 사진 보고 계십니다.
All right, now admissions requirements to HCC, and for community colleges, some of these will vary. At HCC, we require a completed international student application, as well as an application fee, proof of financial support. Those are going to be standard for pretty much any community college and any university in the United States. Proof of graduation from high school and official transcripts from a college or university attended. This will be standard for just about every state except for Washington. Evidence of English language proficiency, which if you're not from a native English-speaking country, our TOEFL requirements are a 61, IELTS 5.5. That will also vary by each community college and each university. And then a copy of a student's passport. The SAT or ACT is not required for students However, if students do take that, if they meet a certain criteria, which is an 880 on the math and the verbal, they can be admitted to Hillsborough Community College as well.
지금 학생들이 일반적으로 HCC 입학하기 위해서 필요한 입학 요구사항입니다. 원서 작성해 하셔야 되고 50불의 전용료가 들어가고 재정 보증 증명서가 필요하고 이 세 가지는 다른 커뮤니티 칼리지에서도 공통적으로 요구하는 거고요. 밑에는 고등학교 졸업 증명과 성적표를 내는 거고 그리고 토플하고 IELTS 경우에는 토플 IBT 61점 그리고 IELTS 5.5점이 필요하고요. 여권 복사본과 SAT랑 ACT는 필요하지는 않지만 880점 SAT, 매스랑 리딩 합쳐서 880 이상이면은 학교에 내는 것도 좋습니다.
Let me clear this up. If students make an 880, a 440 on the math and a 440 on the English, they are admitted directly into college level math and English courses without taking any prep classes.
그 SAT 리딩 섹션 800점 만점에 440점을 받고 매스 섹션에서 800점 만점에 440점을 받으면은 두 매스랑 영어에서 이제 대학교 레벨의 수업을 바로 듣게 되고요. 만약에 이 점수가 없다라고 하면은 플레이스먼트 테스트를 봐서 그거에 따라서 이제 시작을 하게 됩니다. 그래서 플레이스먼트 테스트 결과와 상관없이 바로 대학교 레벨부터 시작하려고 하면은 SAT가 있는 것이 좋을 것 같습니다.
So that's pretty much the presentation on HCC. This is the time for questions. This is a picture of some of our students from a few weeks ago. We have, at HCC in specific, we have 230 students from over 65 different countries. In specific, we have 17 Korean students, for those that are interested as well. So.
현재 17명의 한국 학생이 있고요. 지금 유학생들끼리 모여서 이제 여행을 갔던 사진인데요. 그리고 질문 있으시면은 질문해 주시면은 답변해 드리겠습니다.
아까 4만 9천 명 정도 된다고 하셨는데 학교 자체가 왜 17명이라는 게 그 학교 한국 학생 비율이
네, 한국 학생 몇 명 있는지 현재. So the total enrollment is less than 50,000, but only 17 Koreans, right?
Correct. 17 Korean F1 students.
Yeah.
However, most of our students are part-time students. We have about 3,000 associate and degree students.
Domestic students?
Yeah. So we have about 230 F1 international students, of which 17 are Korean. And ironically enough, because we're spread so thin, if you look here, our international students come from all over the world. Korea is actually our second largest group of students from one country, at 17.
지금 전체 유학생은 230명이고요. 그 중에 한국 학생이 17명이고, 현재는 그 미국 학생들이 굉장히 많은 비중을 차지하고 있어요. 그래서 해외 마케팅 이제 막 시작을 하는 단계라서 유학생 비율이 좀 적은 학교고 한국 학생이 매우 적습니다.
And this is a great photo to show just how truly international our F1 students are. We've got a student here from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, this is the United States student, China, Hong Kong, Korea, Haiti, Thailand, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Dominican Republic. So we are truly international.
네.
Yes, sir.
네, 질문.
어디다 질문을 맡기는지. What happens if the summer break, if the student has belongings? Can they leave the belongings to their dorm or?
Yes, students at Hawks Landing, they sign a 12-month lease, so they can actually leave their stuff on campus, and they also have the option to, if they want to go home for the summer, sublease their place to another student, and in that case they'll work with the student to put it in storage or leave it in the room.
보통 기숙사를 계약을 하면은 12개월을 계약을 하시고요. 그때 여름 학기에 한국을 가야 된다라고 하면은 짐을 놔둘 수도 있고, 근데 만약에 여름에 이제 그 기간 동안에 기숙사를 다른 사람한테 이제 서블리스라고 하는데요. 서블리스를 줘서 살게 할 수도 있고 다양한 방법이 있습니다.
지금 미국 학생들이 거의 미국 학생들인 거잖아요. 그러면 미국 학생들은 왜 커뮤니티 칼리지를 거쳐서 대학을 가는 거죠? 그게 단순히 튜이션이 싸서 그런 건지 어떤 그 이유가 있을 것 같은데 그게 궁금하거든요.
Since the HCC has...
Wait, can you say the question in the microphone? Do you mind repeating your question in the microphone?
Okay. She was curious of why the domestic American students are attending community college instead of going to four-year university, because HCC has like mostly domestic students, a few international students.
So why are the domestic students going to HCC?
Yes, the reasons.
The statistic now is that the majority of domestic students in the United States are starting at community colleges today because it's such a great value, because of the small class sizes, because of the intimate teaching that you're going to get at a community college versus having a graduate assistant or a teaching assistant teach a class where the professor may be off doing research or writing a book instead to get published. Also the cost, with the rising costs of higher education in the United States, students are realizing that, in a state like Florida, you can come, do all of your courses in the first 2 years at, 2/3 the cost or less at HCC and transfer on to the University of Florida or the University of South Florida, Florida State University, and in your 3rd year still be at the same place as that student who paid full tuition at those universities in their first 2 years.
일단 제일 큰 장점은 수업 규모가 작기 때문에 교수님들하고 좀 더 친해지는 기회가 생기고요. 4년제 대학교 같은 경우에는 규모가 워낙 크기 때문에 학생들과 교수들과의 친해지는 게 좀 힘들 수도 있고, 또 4년제 대학교 같은 경우에는 그러니까 조교나 이런 학생들이 많이 수업을 가르치거든요. 그런 것들이 여기는 없기 때문에 그렇고, 요즘 경제 상황에 놓고 보면은 튜이션이 3분의 2 정도 혹은 더 싸기 때문에 커뮤니티를 통해서 가는 걸 더 선호하고요. 어차피 3학년이 되면은 다 똑같은 이제 3학년이 되기 때문에 편입을 합니다.
Can you also add that the GPA of students that go through community college is on average higher than students that after the 2nd year? The average GPA of a community college graduate going on is higher usually than those that started as freshmen in a 4-year institution.
Okay, and additionally, community college graduates have higher GPAs going into their 3rd year than students who begin at a university, 4-year college or university.
그리고 커뮤니티 컬리지에서 편입을 한 3학년 학생이 그 학교에 1학년부터 신입해서 올라온 학생들보다 성적이 더 좋다는 통계 자료를 조금 전에 얘기하셨습니다.
And additionally, college in the United States, you were asking about domestic students. It's the entire experience, not just the education. And at Hillsborough Community College, we have a unique aspect in that we have on-campus housing. So students can go to college at the community college price and still get that on-campus experience by living on campus and having student life and activities as well.
또 장점은 지금 커뮤니티 컬리지를 가면서 기숙사 생활을 할 수 있기 때문에 대학교 생활도 누릴 수 있고, 또 학비는 저렴하기 때문에 두 가지의 장점을 다 누릴 수 있는 게 장점인 것 같습니다. So he was asking, how do Center for International Education support for students to get a student visa?
A student visa? Yes. Interesting. How do we help students get a student visa? We don't really
give the instruction.
To get an F1 visa? I don't know. I mean, we don't really coach anybody. It's not.
Well, I mean, we accept the full application and issue the I-20, and
right.
we give guidance on the types of questions that they might get at the visa interview.
I would say the best thing that we do is we try to educate students on HCC and Tampa and give them perhaps the most information that they can, so that they can, they can pick and choose what aspects they like and perhaps the reasons why they chose HCC, so they can express that to a visa officer when going in for their interview, because visa officers, I would assume, are going to believe those students who are genuine in their answers and would choose HCC for a program or the region of the country or the opportunities that they're going to have after HCC. So that's the best
That's well said. I had a council officer once tell me that the fundamental question is, if I ask you why you want to study in a place, you have to convey an honest answer. So are you a legitimate student? Is really the answer.
지금 학교에서 해주는 거는 이제 입학허가서를 발급을 하는 거고, 그걸 통해서 비자를 받을 수 있고, 또 입학허가서를 발행하면서 학생한테 내주는 서류 중에 F1을 어떤 식으로 해서 가이드라인을 제시해 주는 거고, 일반적으로 비자 인터뷰를 할 때 왜 HCC를 가려고 하는지에 대한 설명을 하면은 비자 받는 데 도움이 된다고 합니다. 그리고 솔직한 앤서, 이제 비자 인터뷰 할 때 솔직한 HCC로 가게 되는 이유를 설명하면 좋다고 합니다.
I just like to add some information about visa in Korea. 이렇게 비자에 관해서 학교할 수 있는 건 거기까지밖에 없어요. I-20 발행한 것밖에 없는데, we have a visa seminar March 12, 3월 12일 날 다시 비자 세미나가 아마 영사님하고 직접 대화를 해서 물어볼 수 있는 건 이 기회가 유일할 거예요. 저희 비자 세미나 1년에 4번이거든요. 3월 10일 5시에 오셔서 직접 영사님께 물어보시면 가장 좋을 것 같아요.
Good questions.
이 대학을 이제 마치고
네.
아까 많은 대학을 갔다고 했는데요. 그거는 이제 성적이 좋아서 이제 가는 거잖아요. 근데 예를 들어서 아까 맨 처음에 설명할 때 뭐 무슨 커뮤니티 칼리지가 하고 몇 점 이렇게 해갖고 이제 뭐 개런티 식으로 쓰는 것 같은데 이 학교도 그런 데가 있나 하고 뭐 예를 들어서 뭐 몇 점 몇을 맞으면은 무슨 대학은 뭐 합격이 보장된다든지 그렇게 있는 거예요.
He was wondering transfer guarantee program.
Okay.
If you have a partnership with any university that has a transfer guarantee program.
Absolutely. Currently, we have transfer agreements with, actually we have several, but the two most notable are the University of South Florida and the University of Tampa. Additionally, in the state of Florida, you are guaranteed admission to one of our 11 public institutions when you graduate with your associate and honors degree. And in the works, like I said, in our 2+2 fair, we have we've had a couple of schools approach us about 2+2s. However, I'd prefer not to say those until we sign those agreements.
지금 트랜스퍼 개런티라고 하는 편입 보장 계약을 맺은 곳은 유니버시티 오브 사우스 플로리다하고 유니버시티 오브 템파이고요. 그리고 이제 플로리다 안에 있는 커뮤니티 칼리지를 졸업한 학생들은 플로리다주 내에 있는 11개의 퍼블릭 주립대학교 중에 한 군데로 이제 보장이 되게 돼 있습니다. 그리고 이제 아까 트랜스퍼 박람회에 왔었던 학교들 중에서도 이제 계약을 맺을 예정인 곳들도 몇 가지 있는데 아직 확정은 안 됐습니다.
Well, and then we have specific program 2+2s. We have a 2+2 with the University of Central Florida for our media arts program. Hospitality, we have one with the University of Houston, the Conrad Hilton School with the University of Houston, and with Florida International University. So we have general ones, and we have, like I had up there, we have specific program ones as well.
지금 말씀드린 거는 일반적인 모든 전공에 해당되는 거고, 이제 특별한 전공 같은 경우에는 University of Central Florida나 플로리다 인터내셔널 유니버시티 같은 학교와 이제 세부 전공에 대해서 이제 트랜스퍼 개런티 프로그램을 갖고 있습니다. Can you specify the GPA requirement with the University of South Florida?
Just graduation.
It varies by program because there's a difference between admission to a university and admission to a college.
Admission to a college within the university. Yeah. So they can be admitted to University of South Florida if they graduate with us. However, then they may have to have, say for engineering, they may need to have like a 2.85 or something like that.
GPA 요구사항은 전공별로 조금씩 다르다고 합니다.
그 학점 자체가 최저 얼마 이상이어야지 편입을 할 수 있고 이런 거는 아니고.
평점 얘기하시는 거예요?
네네네. 그러니까 HCC에서 몇 점까지 받아야지만 그런 계약을 맺은 대학교로 갈 수 있는 거죠.
She was wondering if there's a minimum GPA to achieve at HCC Community College.
To graduate?
I mean to transfer to certain, University of South, the guaranteed university.
If students graduate with us,
USF, we have an articulation agreement with USF, for example, and there's guaranteed admission to the university with a 2.5 GPA.
2.5.
But again, it comes down to, as Matthew said at the very beginning of the presentation, when a student first arrives at our community college, that first semester, they're putting together through their orientation class a 2-year education plan. So if they want to study engineering at Purdue or engineering at MIT, they need to know in an informed way what math class do I take while I'm here, what science class do I take while I'm here. So it's not just a matter of GPA, it's a matter of taking the appropriate courses to qualify you for admission into engineering. Because if you take mathematics for liberal arts majors, guess what? We're not going to get into an engineering program. You need to take calculus and differential equations to get in. So one thing that the community colleges in general will do is to help that student make an informed decision early about the program and then later the specific university so that they're prepared when they get to that point.
커뮤니티 칼리지에서는 이제 해주는 것들이 지금 이 힐스보로 커뮤니티 칼리지 같은 경우에는 첫 학기에 이제 학생이 편입할 계획을 짤 수 있는 그런 과정을 제공하는 수업을 이제 학생들이 들을 수 있게 해서 학생들이 이제 자기가 원하는 전공에 관련된 계획을 2년 동안 짜서 2년 동안에 어떤 수업을 들어야 될지를 미리 계획을 짜서 그 계획을 다 맞추게 해주고 있고 그렇게 해야지만 편입이 더 잘 될 수 있습니다.
And just to single out our Korean students typically tend to do very, very well at HCC as far as graduation and transfer. They are not one of the countries that we have any issues with.
일반적으로 유학생들 중에 한국 학생들이 제일 성적이 좋다고 합니다.
솔직히 말하면 지금 아무래도 한국 사람이다 보니까 캘리포니아에는 SMC를 많이 생각을 하고 있거든요. 저희 같은 경우에는 75% 이상이 트랜스퍼를 한다고 하고 그래서 이제 저 같은 경우는 추운 데는 보내고 싶지 않은데 그 캘리포니아 쪽 SMC랑 비교했을 때 그 HCC 어떤 장점이라고 할 수 있는 거를 얘기해 주실 수 있어요. 지금은 저는 이제 캘리포니아 그쪽을 생각하고 있었으니까.
She is also considering a community college in California, which is quite popular in California, San Diego College. Yeah. So she would like to hear about what is the benefits about attending HCC over Santa Monica College.
That's interesting. We actually just had this conversation. California does not have the Common Course Numbering System. So I can't speak specifically for community colleges and colleges in California, which programs and which courses specific schools will admit from community colleges. However, in the state of Florida, if a student takes English 1101 at HCC, that will transfer to any of our 11 public institutions. If they take calculus for business, that will transfer as calculus for business at any of our 11 public institutions. So that's pretty much as black and white as I can make it.
지금 설명 좀 드리면은 캘리포니아는 아까 말했듯이 그 커먼 코스 넘버링 시스템이라고 해서 커뮤니티 칼리지에 있는 코스하고 UC로 만약에 간다고 치면 거기랑 코스 넘버는 달라요. 사실 이름도 다를 수도 있고 근데 플로리다는 아예 이름도 똑같고 넘버도 똑같고 커리큘럼도 똑같고 그러니까 100% 네, 다 똑같아. 완전 똑같아. 그러니까 유니버시티 오브 플로리다에서 듣는 또 칼큘러스는 힐스보로 커뮤니티 칼리지에서 듣는 칼큘러스랑 완전히 동일한 거죠. 근데 산타모니카나 캘리포니아에 있는 다른 주에 있는 커뮤니티 칼리지는 그 커먼 코스 넘버링이 아니면은 물론 아주 유사할 수는 있겠지만 완전히 100% 동일하다고 할 수는 없는 거죠. 그게 제일 큰 장점인 거죠.
And going through the different Asian markets, Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, China, a lot of parents are interested in California because they're very good schools and they're ranked very highly. And a lot of parents are interested in rankings. You'll be interested to know that in the state of Florida we have two schools that are ranked in the top 50 by U.S. News & World Report, the University of Florida and the University of Miami. And Florida State University is ranked in the top 100 as well. So we have three great options in the state of Florida to which your students can transfer to. And if you're trying to save a little money in your wallet, they're a lot less expensive as well than their counterparts in California.
플로리다 안에도 지금 미국 내 100위권에 드는 학교들이 세 군데가 있는데요. 유니버시티 오브 플로리다가 있고, 플로리다 스테이트 유니버시티가 있고, 유니버시티 오브 마이애미 이렇게 세 군데가 이제 100위권 안에 드는 학교입니다. Do we have any financial difficulties in California?
이쪽은
네.
캘리포니아는 솔직히 걱정되는 게 마약이나 그런 나쁜 길로 빠질까 그게 걱정이 되거든요. 근데 이쪽 환경은 어떤지 궁금해요.
She is actually concerned about drugs and violence in California.
About what?
Drugs and violence in California. If she sends her kids to California. How about Florida? What do you think about anything concerning?
I can speak for Tampa. I can't speak for, you know, Santa Monica or San Francisco. But Tampa is a fairly safe place. I can tell you that we're not on any, you know, top 10, top 100 most dangerous lists in the United States or anything like that. I will say this, just like I tell all of our students, you know, if you're out at 3 a.m. doing something you're not supposed to, you're probably going to get in a sticky situation. However, Tampa is generally a pretty safe area. And like I said, we have on campus, to make you feel safe, so we're right next to the international airport, so TSA and customs and all that are looking for a baseball. We have a police station right across the street from campus. And then we have our own campus security, and then we also have housing campus security, at least 2 on campus at all times, and 24-hour video surveillance of Hawks Landing as well. So I can't speak for California, but I can speak for Tampa and I can speak for HCC.
캘리포니아랑 뭐 샌프란시스코는 있는데 어떨지 모르겠지만 템파는 굉장히 안전하고, 자세히 설명을 드리면은 이 학교 바로 한 5분 거리에 공항이 있어요. 그래서 공항 시큐리티가 있기 때문에 공항 주변이 또 안전하고, 그리고 학교 바로 길 건너에 경찰서가 있고, 그리고 학교 캠퍼스 내에 또 보안관들이 계시고, 그 기숙사 내에 또 보안관이 또 있고, 그래서 이제 뭐 여러 가지 이제 시큐리티가 있기 때문에 안전에 대해서는 뭐 자신할 수 있다고 얘기할 수 있습니다.
We average 260 days of sun a year. It's beautiful. People in beautiful places don't tend to go.
260일 정도의 그 화창한 날이 있어서 그게 제일 즐기는 날입니다. 네.
우리 아이가 만 18세예요. 만 18세인데 그 홈스테이를 해야 되는지 기숙사를 들어가야 되는지 이것도 궁금하고, 그다음에 얘는 거기 미국에 가면은 성인이 아닌 것 같은데, 성인이 아니어서 이렇게 제재받는 게 있는지, 그 운전면허를 여기서 다운받는 게 나은지 그쪽에서 하는 게 나은지.
네, 그거는 이따가 나중에 끝나고 좀 개인적인 질문이라서 답변이 힘들 수도 있을 것 같은데. 네.
18이면 성인인가요, 미국에?
If it's he's 18 years old, is it considered to be adult or minor?
Adult in the United States.
성인이에요, 성인.
아까 19,000불이라고 하셨는데요.
And for students, you know, that are interested in, you know, finishing their degree at a California school, you know, like I said at our 2+2 fair, Cal State was there trying to recruit our students. So.
여기서
네.
기숙사비 포함인 거예요?
네, 다 포함됩니다. 학비가 나오셔서 조금 안 되고 나머지 생활비가 나오셔서.
그러면 애를 보냈다 하면 생활비 포함해서 한 25,000불 정도가 애가 살아갈 수 있다, 1년에. 그러니까 뭐 각자 쓰는 게 틀리겠지만 그런 그 전체적인 생활비가 대략 어느 정도 드는, 이건 이제 학교에 관련된 거예요.
Per kid has a 25,000 per budget in a year. Do you think it will cover everything?
Yes.
I was wondering if you can tell me about the pre-pharmacy schools.
Pre-pharmacy schools. Okay. So in the state of Florida, we have the University of Florida has a pharmacy school program, Florida A&M University, which we actually have an agreement with, and the University of South Florida in Tampa is starting up their pharmacy program, which is in Tampa as well.
So does that mean the students who are studying in that Hillsborough Community College have opportunity to enter another pharmacy?
Yes, you do. The University of Florida is the only one that I know that does not accept F1 international students, but USF, which is starting theirs, should, and Florida A&M University in Tallahassee does. So.
But it's important to understand that in the United States, the pharmacy program is a 6-year doctoral program, so you do 2 + 4
Right.
to get the pharmacy.
Yep. And once you've completed all those courses, those should suffice whether you stay in Florida or go outside. Those are the courses that are pretty much going to be mandatory that you take at any school that you're going to be applying to, inside Florida or outside. Because they're all your basic chemistry, biology, anatomy courses, all those. Absolutely.
There's financial difficulties for California community colleges, so they are not offering as many courses as they want.
You can do that.
IBT 토플이 지금 61점 이상이면 된다고 하셨잖아요. 그러면은 가가지고 또 ESL 코스를 듣고 수업을 들어야 되는 거예요? 아니면 61점 이상이면 바로 수업을 들을 수 있는 거예요?
So something is very kid as a IBT higher than 61, will her kid need to take additional ESL courses or?
Not ESL courses. Just like all of our students, non-native English speakers, her son or daughter will have to take the LOAP test, and may have to place, will place into EAP unless they place directly out of, if they score high enough to place directly in English Level 1. Important to note, if her son or daughter places into Level 4, they will need 1 semester of prep work, and then they'll take Level 5 and 6, where they will take 2 classes and 2 classes each semester. However, those are general education courses.
지금 토플이 넘어도 영어가 모국어가 아닌 학생들은 테스트나 레벨 테스트를 다 봐야 돼요. 그래서 레벨이 6까지가 있는데 만약에 레벨 4에 배정이 되면은
1부터 6까지 있어요.
1부터 6까지. 4에 배정이 되면은 모든 수업을 이제 대학 준비 영어 과정을 듣게 되고요. 그리고
4 이상이면?
4 밑으로 4, 3, 2, 1.
1이 제일 좋은 거예요?
1이 제일 낮은 거예요. 5, 6이 제일 좋은 거고 4는 다 영어 듣고요. 5는 영어 2과목, 일반 대학 과목 2과목, 둘도 6도 둘도 9 이제
그러면 1부터 3까지 레벨을 받으면
1부터 4까지가 이제 모든 영어만 듣게 되는 거예요.
아, 영어만 들어야 되는 거예요?
대학 준비에서.
따로 ESL을 하는 건 아니에요?
그러니까 이 ESL 같은 경우는 대학 준비.
우리가 듣기로는 4년제를 가서 되는지 합격을 하려고 우리가 뭐 들어가서 공부하는 거 가지고 자기 합격을 하더니 뭐 치대를 하든 의사를 하든 그거는 이제 본인 공부하고 결정을 하라고 하는데 우리가 이렇게 일반적으로 듣기로는 2년제를 가서 그 사람들이 약하게 되는데 공부를 못하는 점수 굉장히 좋아가지고 가는 케이스가 아주 적고 그래서 우리가 이제 가끔해서 이제 4년제를 이제 다시 공부 좀 더 해가지고 가만히 보는데 그러고 여쭤봐도 신뢰가 안 되는
괜찮아요. She would like to compare that case that she's applying to four-year university as a health science major, like medical or dental pharmacy, or transferring to four-year university from HCC as a health science major, like pharmacy program. Can you compare entering into freshman or transferring from HCC?
From my knowledge, I mean, Michael, maybe you can answer this better. From my understanding, whether her daughter goes directly to a university after her second year, even if she's in a university that offers a pharmacy program, she's still going to have to apply for the pharmacy school at that college or university. So I can't give you a specific answer as to if she'd have a better chance going to HCC first or going to that university first. I can tell you though that she'll save a lot of money coming somewhere like HCC, and you know, if she has a 3.7 at HCC and a 3.7 at, let's say, the University of Florida, probably going to have just as good of opportunity from either school to.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to admission to the university and then admission to the program. Right. So the difference between going directly to a community college versus going directly to the university for just general admission purposes is most universities will require the SAT or the ACT, letters of recommendation, transcripts, application fee. For us, you have to have graduated high school, show that you have the resources to pay your way, and have the English language proficiency. So the admission into the institution is far easier with the community college than it is the university. Obviously, if they're a very good student, they will get admitted to the university. Then, as Matthew says, 2 years into your program, you're applying for specific admission into a program. So
right.
There's admission to the university, and then there's admission into the program. And if you perform extremely well at community college in the first 2 years, if you've taken the appropriate coursework for admission into pharmacy or pre-medicine or whatever it may be, you will get admitted to the university. Same thing over here. If you've done well at the university, you will get admitted. So it's really a matter of performance at that point.
Right.
So there's a difference between admission, which is far easier at a community college, and then performance those first 2 years to get into university. And as was mentioned by our colleague here at EducationUSA, students, and this is in general at all community colleges, students who start at a community college do as well or better than students who start at the university in terms of their overall academic career. So it really comes down to the individual student and how motivated they are and how well they perform. But they're not going to go wrong with going to community college.
학생이 이제 어떻게 하느냐에 따라서 이제 어드미 시험 같은 게 제일 중요하기는 한데, 평균적으로 보면은 커뮤니티 컬리지에서 편입한 학생들이 좀 더 공부를 잘하거나 아니면은 4년제 학생들하고 똑같거나 아니면 공부를 더 잘하기 때문에 커뮤니티 컬리지를 통해서 가면은 그런 점이 장점이 될 것 같다고 얘기합니다. 결론적으로 중요한 거는 학생이 이제 얼마나 열심히 하느냐에 따라서 학생이 잘 어디를 가든지 간에 잘 하면은 좋은 기회가 있을 거라고 얘기하셨습니다.
And one lasting thing that we're proud of at HCC, about 3 weeks ago, we just took first place in the Florida International Leadership Conference Spirit Competition. We beat UF, FSU, Miami, FIU, all those schools. So.
지금 몇 주 전에 플로리다에서 리더십 콘테스트를 했었는데, 이제 HCC 학생들이 유니버시티 오브 플로리다나 그 플로리다 내에 있는 4년제 학교들하고도 경쟁을 했는데 그 학생들 다 이기고 이제 1위를 해서 그거에 대해서 되게 자랑스럽게 생각하고 있다고 합니다.
That's something actually that's good. Any questions on there?
Yes, same question.
Perfect.